Hey everyone, my name is Jessica Lynn. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over my total spending for 2022, followed by the top categories that I spent in, and then we're going to talk about my favorite purchases and the worst purchases of 2022. If you're new here, I am an actor, an entrepreneur, ultimate side hustler, and this channel is all about me going on my financial journey and gaining financial freedom. So if you want to follow along for more, I'll be doing budgeting videos. I do vlogs and lifestyle based on my life as an actor, as a girlfriend to an amazing boyfriend of several years, and life with our dog, foster dog for now, and our cat. So if that sounds good to you, please feel free to like and subscribe. I thought it would be fun to do a video like this because I saw a couple other YouTubers doing it and talking about their spending for the year. One of them is Barnes. I think it's pronounced Barnes, and if you haven't checked out her channel, I would check it out. So to be honest, I haven't really gone through my spending for a full year. Even earlier in this year when I was trying to take budgeting more seriously, I would look at month to month, but I don't know that I would at the end of the year go back and look through everything and see how it all panned out. And it's kind of interesting that, you know, it tells a story in a way to see where your money went and to see what you maybe intentionally or unintentionally prioritized. And I think it's can be a good indicator to see if that's a direction you want to keep going into, or reevaluate and see, okay, let me maybe pivot and change things around and go in a different direction, because that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to be more intentional with my money. I don't need every single dollar to be spent perfectly. I think that's asking a lot, at least for me, but I would definitely like to be able to look back and feel pretty good overall about my purchases, and that it was going towards good things for myself, or future goals for myself. So yeah, I thought it was interesting to look back at all of that. Now, the total number that I spent for 2022 was based off of my credit card purchases. So this year I also transitioned into using 2 major credit cards, and I use my debit card a little bit, so it's not a perfect number, but it definitely was a pretty good indicator overall for my purchases. This number was definitely big for me, and just because I'm not used to having that much money, and honestly it probably won't be much money to most people, but for me it was definitely more than what I'm used to seeing. But also it kind of reminded me that's a good indicator that I'm also making more and I'm doing better at managing my finances and increasing my income, because even though we want to watch what we're spending, at the end of the day you also probably have to make more money depending on what your financial and personal goals are. So my total spending for 2022, again based off most of my credit card and debit card purchases, so it's not perfect, but a good average to go with, is $29,060. The largest category of spending was at 26%, and that was health and wellness, which was at $7,560. That's a lot. I wish I could say I wasn't expecting that, but I kind of was. This was a big year for me to progress in my TMJ journey and my dental journey, because I deal with a pretty severe class 3 lower bite and crossbite, and that causes a lot of pain for me, so I definitely had to invest a lot of money in that this year. But it's a good thing because I've been wanting to get that started for a long time. And in addition to that, I've also had to go to a chiropractor pretty regularly, and I started getting massages more regularly. Not all year, but on and off, and it's been helpful. I wish I could say it fixed everything, but it just gets me to barely baseline. Like, I still wake up in quite a bit of discomfort and pain, and I work as a nail tech on the side, and honestly that's getting harder and harder on my body. So that's another reason where I need to make more money in different areas, because I just don't think my body can handle doing nails even part-time. It still is very aggravating. Now the breakdown to the $7,560 is $6,200 went to dental. Like I already said, I was expecting that because of the different appliances and all the appointments I needed for my TMJ journey. $1,000 was spent on chiropractor. Unfortunately, none of that was covered by insurance. The specific chiropractor I go to isn't covered by my insurance. However, he is really good, and I will say not all chiropractors are made the same. So if you find a good one, hold on to them. And then about $360 was spent on massage therapy, which for me, it honestly feels like a necessity. It's not that relaxing. It's just about getting pain relief and helping me to sleep better and helping my jaw to relax so I'm not in so much pain all the time. And I hope to do more of that next year because it's important, and I'm starting to see the importance of it more often. And taking care of me, taking care of yourself in general is always a good thing. The next highest category was way lower at 10%, and that was travel. Travel was $3,051. Now, travel consisted this year of going to New York City for a staged reading that I performed in beginning of this year, getaway cabin, which if you haven't heard of, they're these tiny minimalist cabins. They're 2 hours outside of each of the major cities for the most part, and I definitely recommend it. That was a lot of fun, and it was a very good way to just get away and reset and not have to worry about having so many things with you. You could just kind of check out of technology and just be connected with whoever you're there with, which was my boyfriend and our dog, so that was really fun. I also went to Boston for a wedding in the summer, so that's part of the travel cost. I went to Bahamas for a family vacation with my boyfriend, and that was mostly taken care of, so I got very lucky. We both did for that particular trip. So that was mostly airfare that we paid for and extra things on top of that. I went on a girls trip to Portland, Maine in August, and Portland is a beautiful, super cute city. I highly recommend it, especially if you like seafood. It's top notch. Another part of the travel cost was a flight to Cleveland for the holidays, and if you saw a previous vlog I just did earlier this week, was our flight was canceled, so we did not make it back home for the holidays. We stayed in Atlanta, and it's fine. We were able to get the flight credit, so we're just going to use that for a future time that we go to Cleveland in the next couple of months, but that was still money spent. And then the final part of the travel category was going on a Virgin Voyage cruise. I already paid for that. My boyfriend and I are going next month in January, and pretty excited for that, not gonna lie. The next category on the list was 10% shopping. Shopping came in at $2,875. And if you break down that shopping cost monthly, that comes out to around $240 a month. Now, I'm gonna take that category a little bit with a grain of salt because it wasn't all personal shopping, like buying things for myself. A lot of stuff included in that was gift purchases, like things for baby showers, wedding gifts, birthday parties, Mother's, Father's Day, that kind of stuff, which is all shopping, but I think you can kind of, it gets into its own category, and I consider shopping just for myself, but again, my credit cards didn't differentiate between all those individual purchases, so it's all lumped into one. The next category that was also at 10% was groceries. Groceries came down to $2,931, which averages at $244 a month. So for the most part, I had been budgeting somewhere between $200 to $250 for groceries every month, so we're pretty much right on target. I always want to say, well, I could get that lower because I don't want to like change myself on food per se, but there's quite a bit of food that gets to my house that gets totally wasted, especially fresh food, you know, the produce, fruits, veggies, things like that, or trying to buy healthier snacks that really aren't good, and so they just go to waste. So I'm still trying to figure that out, of like buying healthier snacks that I'll actually eat, or just don't waste your time. Like, just get the snacks you like, own it, and enjoy it, you know? If it's being used, I think that's money well spent versus trying to pretend like you're gonna eat something and you're really not. The next category was food and drink, as in dining out food and drinks, so restaurants, coffee shops, things like that. that was at 6%, and that total was $1,664, which averaged to about $134 a month. That's not the worst number, and when we go out to eat, you know, my boyfriend will help pay for that as well, so that's not a part of the budget, but it is. To be honest, I don't really know how I feel about that number, if it's good or bad. It's technically relatively within budget. I try to budget around $100 for eating out, so that's okay. I just want to be conscientious of how often we're doing that and making sure that you're not doing it so much that then again you're wasting the food that you bought as groceries that you intended to cook. That's a big thing for me. I just want to really make sure I'm not wasting as much food, because that's annoying. And the last category I wanted to touch on was also at 6%, and that was gas. Gas was at $1,718, which averaged out to $143 a month. And I do think that's a lot. I think that's way too much to be spending on gas, but I do live in Atlanta, and unfortunately, I don't have a purely remote job. Some of my jobs require me to drive around the city, and you just accumulate those miles, you rack them up, and there's constant start, stop traffic. So there's really no way around that if you have to get in your car. But I am hoping again to transition to some jobs that allow me to drive a little bit less and to kind of get that number down. Also, part of this year, gas prices rose pretty high, and they're coming back down a little bit more. So yeah, it is what it is. But I hate it. Okay, so now I wanted to go through some of my favorite purchases of 2022. These are in no particular order. So the first one is SUTERA pillow, and I have it right here with me. It is this guy. Don't know if you can see it. It's got like a contoured neck situation. It's a nice balance between being firm, more firm, but definitely not too firm, and soft, but not too soft. It got really great reviews, and so I bought that at the top of the year just because of all my neck issues. Funny thing is, this purchase was definitely coming in as my worst purchase of the year for the first few months. I slept on this just a few nights when I first got it, and my neck was in so much pain. I had not been in that much pain in a while, and I tried to stick with it because I thought like maybe there's a period of time where you just have to get used to the pillow and then it'll get better. And it didn't, or I just couldn't last that long to see if that was gonna be the case. So was a worst purchase, and I put it away for a while, and it was just until this last month I have gotten my dental appliances, the chiropractor, the massages. I really firmly believe it was like all of that put together has put my neck into a better place in general. And so when I used this pillow just a month ago, I was actually in a lot of comfort. Like it felt really good waking up in the morning, and I felt like I had really good neck support. So that's crazy that this thing came in at the finish line at the end of the year as one of my favorite purchases, because yeah, I was flabbergasted. My next favorite purchase is hair paint wax. I found this company on Instagram, and it's basically a styling product that has different colors to it, and it's made for curly hair. So they have all these cream stylers in like red, orange, gold, silver, blue, purple, so many cool colors, and they legitimately really color your hair, and it works just like a styling product. It's not anything like weird. You have to wash your hands pretty good, but I was so surprised. I love the product. I use it all the time. I had bought 2 jars of the gold color that make my hair kind of like a light brown or blonde. I already went through a jar, and I'm on the second one, and I have a red jar that I've used a couple times. I highly recommend it because I have tried a couple other color hair gels or stylers, and they did not work, or they made my hair feel really greasy or crunchy, and this does none of that. It honestly, if they had a styler version that had no color, just the styler, I would use that too because it's a good product. It's called hair paint wax, and I think they were about $8 to $10 a jar, so not bad. My next favorite purchase is Earth Breeze, which is a detergent that doesn't come in a big laundry detergent plastic jug. It comes in a paper, what do you call it, envelope, and the detergents are like these little sheets of detergent that don't have all the fillers of, which is basically water, which is in a lot of laundry detergent. I love it. It's supposed to be much more environmentally conscientious, and all of the packaging is recyclable, and the product works really well for me. My clothes smell good. I don't have to use as much of it. It comes every 2 to 3 months. Just trying to be a little bit better about where I'm using plastics and whatnot. So yeah, I would highly recommend it if you want to try a company that uses laundry detergent that doesn't, I don't know, ruin the environment. And that's about $13 every 2 to 3 months. My next favorite purchase for 2022 is buying an air pump for my car tires. Can't tell you how many times I've had low tire pressure in Atlanta. I can't tell you how many times I've gone through tires just in general living in Atlanta. Way more than living in Cleveland with the crazy potholes that we get up there. It is so much worse down here. I don't know why. It's just a wreck. I've gotten a nail in my tire 3 different times just this year alone. Or I've had low pressure and had to drive around to different gas stations trying to find an air pump, and even if I find one, it's not working or whatever the reason. So I finally ordered this one off of Amazon. It's got a digital reader to read the PSI for your tires. It works great, and it takes the headache and the worry out of all of that. Highly recommend. Another favorite purchase for 2022 is this can opener. Didn't think a can opener would make it to a favorite purchase, but I've gone through a few can openers. They always just give up working for me, and I thought I would get like an electric one, but then I found this randomly on Amazon that came recommended, and I love it. It works so well. It's small, lightweight, like it has less to it than a regular can opener, but I've noticed regular can openers just, they take off the flat part of the can, and this magnetizes to the top of the can and then takes off that ridge around the can as well and lifts the whole thing up. It's so efficient. I don't have to like apply all of this pressure. It just does its job. I think it was like $10 on Amazon. Highly recommend. Another purchase I really liked this year was buying these organic super greens and proteins. I saw this at the grocery store one time and just wanted to try it, and I loved it. It's a really good addition to smoothies, and now I just get this off of Amazon once every month or 2. I don't go through it too quickly, and it tastes great. It's a good way to get all of your greens and your nutrition in quickly and painlessly. On top of that, I also have these organic super seeds that I found at Walmart. Walmart has really stepped up their organic section in general. This is a combination of chia, flaxseed, meal, and hemp seeds. It's got 8 grams of fiber, 6 grams of protein, and 5 grams of omega-3s. I put this into my smoothies as well. It's been a really nice addition, and it helps my body feel better. Everything's flowing better, you know. Good stuff. Another good purchase of 2022 has been this curly hair wig. I got this at the top of the year, and I originally did because my hair had suffered a lot of heat damage the year before, and just it was causing a lot of problems. And as an actor, I have to audition all the time. I have to have, you know, sometimes very fresh looking hair depending on the parts I'm auditioning for, and I got tired of trying to wash and do my hair and style it for it to not really come out right because of the heat damage. And so this wig I also got off of Amazon, was around $100. It works phenomenally. It's super soft. The curls are great. Definitely had some shedding, but I've taken pretty good care of it. It does need to be washed, but this wig had paid for itself time and times over. I've booked 2 commercials with this wig, as well as a part in a TV show, and I still use it if I'm having a day where I'm just not feeling it with doing my hair, and it comes through every time. I definitely It was a learning curve to figure out how to install it. I definitely wish I had jumped on the wig train sooner because it has saved me a lot of time and a lot of stress. Another purchase I loved this year also came in at the finish line are these high-waisted Abercrombie jeans. They are a relaxed fit. I think it's the curve fit as well. I love them. Abercrombie for the win. I don't think I've bought a pair of jeans from them since like the 7th grade, and I've been sleeping on them. I had no idea how good quality their jeans were. I tried on a friend's a few months back and we're a similar size, and I just loved how they felt. So I knew I had to get around to it at some point, and I'm gonna do a video, I think, about a few of my favorite pants for athletic, curvy, short girls. And so that should be a fun one if you want to check that out. Now, the last two favorite purchases of this year are travel, the entire category. I don't think I've ever regretted traveling. In fact, I would like to do more. I hope that that percentage can go way up and that my income can support that as well. So that is definitely a hope and manifestation for 2023. And last but not least, one of my favorite purchases was health and wellness. I can't stress enough how important health and wellness is. I'm sure all of you out there know that, but it's really been showing how it affects my life more and more in the last few years. And so being able to be in a place where I could finally afford the care that I need to get back to a healthy baseline is not priceless. Definitely, I don't want to say it's priceless because it is expensive, but it's definitely worth the money to get that part of your life back. And you realize, wow, I didn't realize that I haven't been able to like focus on all these things. I haven't been able to like give to these relationships or give to these goals and mindsets because I just couldn't function in that way. I couldn't give a 10, and I still can't, but definitely more than where I was at before. Now, some of my worst purchases for 2022, again, in no particular order. I already said my favorite pair of jeans in the last segment, but also jeans were the worst purchase of this year. I'm glad I found a good pair, but there were so many pairs that I've bought this year that just weren't it. Like, jeans is one of the biggest frustrations of clothing purchases. I would go to a lot of places like a Ross or TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and buy more affordable pair of jeans there because I also find it really hard to justify spending so much money on good jeans. It also feels pointless because I'm spending all that money for inexpensive jeans and not getting what I want, but I also wasn't getting what I wanted from expensive jeans either. I made plenty of returns from expensive companies as well. So there's no way around it. It just sucks buying jeans. Another wasted worst purchases of the year are dog toys in general. Again, have found some good ones at work, but overall, my dog is such a rough chewer, so he goes through the plush toys like nothing. I mean, within seconds, the fluff is out, but he also doesn't like the harder rubber toys because he can't put a dent in them. So you're kind of at a weird crossroads where you're like, what do you play with? I don't know. A lot of money has gone into the dump for trying to find the right toys for my dog that will keep him entertained. Another worst purchase, just as a general category, is cooking ware, specifically pans that just don't work well. They work well in the beginning for a period of time, not that long, and then they just kind of already age like 10 years or something. Stuff's getting stuck all the time. They're difficult to wash. Things get burnt easily. I've also had an air fryer that I didn't buy, but we got as a gift, and that already started peeling at the bottom, which just kind of sucks because we do use that a lot. So it doesn't seem safe to keep using it if it's peeling at the bottom. Like, you don't want that in your food, right? And last worst purchase of this year was acupuncture and herbal teas that were recommended by this acupuncturist. I wish I could say otherwise because I'm a big fan of holistic services and holistic treatments, but this particular person was horrible. I was in so much pain. It was this really kind of like traumatic experience that I don't even know if I want to expand on. It was a lot of like very hard massaging before she got in there with the acupuncture needle, and the needle hurt really bad. I was just in a lot of pain, again, with the jaw and neck and back stuff. My whole body was just in a state of shock, and so I really was desperate to try something to relieve that, and it honestly made it worse. And on top of that, she really encouraged me to buy these herbal teas to aid in my healing. The teas were terrible, which I knew they would be, and my mom, who's also very holistic, Asian background, all of that, even she was like, you shouldn't do those teas. But again, I was desperate to try something, and it was truly a waste of money. Plus, I had to go back and forth a couple different times because it wasn't ready when this person told me it would be. So that was a whole frustrating process, and it was expensive, and I will never do that again. I wouldn't say I won't do acupuncture ever again, because I do believe that it can work, but like I said with chiropractors, not all acupuncturists and holistic practitioners are made the same either. So I should have vetted that better, and if you go and pursue something like that, I hope that you also vet that person appropriately before trying it. Now, that is all I have for you for my 2022 spending. It has been a wild year, but here we are, we made it. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of enlightening for me to see where my money has gone and where I would like to see it going in the coming year. I think I'll definitely continue to spend health and wellness, definitely spend on travel. We have some big trips coming up, and so I'll talk about that in future videos. If this is something you want to do as well to kind of get an idea of where your spending was at, I highly recommend it. It was kind of cool and fun for me. Fun's a strong word, but it was nice for me to see where my money went. So thank you for joining me in this video today, and I will see you in the next one. Once again, my name is Jessica Lynn. Thank you. Have a great day.